Okay, guys. Today is Sunday, which is the second of November, and for this we're about to start a new week and expecting the market to open a few hours or minutes from now. So, if you watched the previous video which I dropped, I did a breakdown analysis on the Emini-Nasdaq, which you could actually use as US 100, or also US 100 or US Tech. So I did a breakdown analysis starting from the weekly, daily, 4 hours, hourly to the 15-minute time frame charts, where and to as well as 5 minute and 1 minute as well, to levels I intend to see price reach for. And also I think last week, which was I did this video on Wednesday, 29th of October, and I tend to I took a trade at the end of that particular video, which has also dropped the video on YouTube. If you haven't checked, you can go check and um, see for yourself. So I did a breakdown review, market review on how I intend to see price, or my belief where I want to see price, or how I want to see price react to. I told you guys why I wasn't very bullish. I wasn't no longer bullish, or not that I wasn't bullish in the market, but I was not expecting bullish prices. I tend to or was expecting more like a correction, or more like a retracement the lower down to the lower sides in for that particular, or moving forward from that particular day which I made the video. So I highlighted some levels with you guys, how levels I intend to see price react or tend to reach for, and I and also how they should more like react to these levels. I gave a breakdown from the daily to the 4 hours to the hourly, 15 minutes, and to the 5 minutes, also to as low as 1 minute, to the 1 minute time frame chart. So you could actually go back to check the previous videos, so you could actually see for yourself. So today we are more like doing a review of what actually happened last week, and have a better understanding. Then moving forward, then we can now wait maybe more like I said, the next few hours or minutes from now, we could the market is going to open for this particular week. Then maybe on Monday, or maybe next few days from now, I'm actually drop a video of what I expect what I expect to see, for levels I tend to see or expect to see, for or why I tend to see price trade to for this particular week, which you're about to commence or to start. So this is the weekly time frame chart. So moving into the daily, we have daily. So this is the daily time frame chart on the Emini-Nasdaq, which you could actually use as US 100. See something as your US 100, US Tech, whatever you might refer to it as. So I called out some levels, some specific levels which we all know. I made mention of the daily volume imbalance. First of all, I started with the daily with the new week opening gap, where I actually told you guys that that was what my major draw on liquidity. That was what I mean by draw on liquidity, means that was my magnetic draw on where I tend to see price draw into in the future. In the future could either be in the next hours from now, next day from that particular time where that video was made, or it could be the next week, or whatsoever. We don't know for sure. But the major draw on liquidity, which I made mention of, was what that new week opening gap, which was this level which I outlined with you guys, highlighted here, which is what this as what served as what the major draw on liquidity. So this is, I'd like to see price do a correction into this gap here. And also I made mention of what low hanging fruits, or low hanging, or the low or the close objectives, which I like to see before this particular levels, before price can actually get to these particular levels. What are those low hanging fruits I would like to see price get to first? And we might actually see more like a rebounce or a rejection from those levels first. So we actually want to come to what test those levels, then more like do some kind of like initial meet up with some kind of initial objectives. And so I explained to you guys from the previous video how I tend to see price react to these levels, and what are these levels those minor objectives which I told you guys. So I told you guys I won't want to be very, very like bullish straight up to what to this new week opening gap. There are some levels I want to see, or I want to be making money off from first before price then eventually gets to this level. I made mention of one, which is what the daily volume imbalance, which I told you guys. You could see price reaching for what this daily volume imbalance. If you haven't watched the video, you could go back to that previous video, which was I dropped it on I think on Wednesday, 29th of October. I did highlighted all this, so you could go there to what to verify it for yourself. So I made mention of what the daily volume imbalance from the timing chart, and also not just the daily volume imbalance. I also went as low as the 4 hours time frame chart, and also told you guys levels I want to see price reach for, which is what this the 4 hours BC. That's the 4 hours buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, which is this level here. You could see price trade from this high. You will see price trade from this high, did a manipulation to the upside, then what drop into what first of all the 4 hours volume imbalance, which is this man here. You will see traded through what 4 hours volume imbalance, and also what this the 4 hours BC, that's buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Then afterwards, what did it do? Then you see what an upward what movement, exactly as I told you guys that it was going to it was how it was going to how I expected it to what to react. You could go back to the previous video to what to validate it yourself. Don't take my word for it. Just you could just go and watch and see it for yourself. It's just exactly as I told you guys it was going to behave. So then after this reaction to what to the 4 hours BC, we could see an upside movement, also took out what buy side liquidity, then what reach for what that's by the 4 hours BC again, and then you will see what into what the daily volume imbalance. You just kept what reacting to what these levels go up, come back again, react to what go up, come back again. The same way it's going to do to until it eventually comes to what the final what destination, which is what this level here. This level here. So exactly as I told you guys, it's going to how it was going to what behave. So you could come to the hourly for it to what see it clearly. We have okay, let me go to as low as the 15-minute time frame charts. Going to see things very, very clearly with the 15-minute time frame chart. So you can see, if you could remember clearly how I highlighted what the sell side liquidity, which was price took out. This sell side liquidity, which I told you guys from that video, price was going to what take out what this particular level. You will see how it was swept through, then into what this 4 hours what the 4 hours BC through what the 4 hours volume imbalance, and what through the what 4 hours what buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, which is what this shaded portion here, this shaded portion area here. So we can see this level here was what the previous session high at the end of that Wednesday's video, which I told you guys. And you could still remember this particular trade, which I actually took while I was making that video. Took this particular trade live, and showed you guys the my trade execution and this. So you could see this. Then afterwards, after the reaching for this level here, you could see price trade manipulated towards what this towards this high, then came through, bounce off from what the 4 hours BC. You could see how the wicks of this body were what reacting to what you could see for yourself how the wicks of the body were what reacting to what the 4 hours volume imbalance. You could see this level here, then what manipulated was what the upside. Being bullish for that particular week was not wouldn't have been a good idea. It was just what maybe some person were able to like make something off it, fine, good and fine. But the major draw there, the major bias there, the where the real money was towards the downside. And I gave you guys every single reason, the reason why I believed it was going to reach for those levels. You could see could not continue going, but further high took out what this buy side liquidity as well again after I taking out what this that is manipulation to the high, then was traded into what that level and into what into that 4 hours BC again, trade into what this gap, and then again then towards what to the downside to take out what. So now we now have what we had what a sell side liquidity resting below here. This was now what a previous sell side liquidity, which you could refer to as what maybe a previous session low, or previous daily low, because this particular candle was formed at what on Wednesday. This particular low was formed on Wednesday, and this particular low was taken out on what on Thursday as at 9:30. At 9:30, this sell side liquidity was taken out as at 9:30. You see this movement here was swept out to this level here and then came into what that daily volume imbalance. You could see it for yourself. Exactly as I told you guys it was going to reach for. You see it took out towards this daily volume imbalance and then was traded to the upside. Everything was just going up, take out by side, then come down, going up, take out by side, and then what's coming down. So you could see this as well too. I actually like this. This was on Friday from the what a breaker. You see buy side here, short term swing low, which was here, which was broken through here. Some can refer to it as what as a market structure shift, or some call it CISD. It could be change in state of delivery, whatsoever you might refer it to as, depending on you, depending on your model, your style of trading, or your system of trading. You can see what a structure shift here, change here. You can see this breakthrough here, came into here to what start picking what orders here. And you can see what this breaker here, manipulated or trick people to what to start going long, then what breakthrough, broke through. This is what a market structure shifts. This is a market structure shift for those that have like explained this before. So here's about a market structure shift. This is a very, very, very good model that presented itself here. So market structure shifts, and you can see the entries were what inside this fair valuation gap, and what inside what that volume, the 4 hours volume imbalance. You could see it itself, 4 hours volume imbalance. You could see the wick trading away from what from it here. You could see it. So this is what a system. This is what an algorithm what in play here doing its thing. For those that actually tend to what understand this, you can see what 4 hours volume imbalance. You can see how they tend to what react away from it, and then start aiming for what to what that same what daily volume imbalance, taking out what this sell side liquidity that was resting here, sell side liquidity also resting here, because market only does what two things, which I've already made mention of before. For those that tend to what learn from, because every single thing I'm giving out here is totally what is totally free. So you can as well just do well to always what make sure you always what follow everything I try to give out here, because it's totally free. Nobody's taking anything from you. Nobody's actually charging. I won't charge you for anything. It's just free. Right? It's all free. So you can easily learn how to trade this properly. Very, 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 very fast. You learn how to do this. Then after you're very, very good with your analysis and structures and whatsoever, then you can now start going back to what start going to what deal with what when psychology of trading, or of being what a trader. You can start going back to what start doing with that. Those could actually be your habits and behavior, your discipline, impatience, and whatsoever. So you can start going back to what start working on those. So you can see this imbalance inside of here, volume imbalance serve as what as an entry towards what the downside of this. So it was very, very simple. So the next draw I want to see price reach for, and you can see what trade through, came down, came here again, and what rejected from what that was 4 hours, what 4 hours BC, which I highlighted last week Wednesday. Just go back to your chat to the video and what check it yourself, which I actually give to you guys. So now the next major draw, the major draw is what this new week opening gap. I want to see price trade into what into this level here. So this is what I'll be looking forward to this particular week. This particular week, will the market give it to me? I don't know, but this is going to be my bias for what for the week. Where it's going to be, I have this man is going to be as my what acting as what sell side liquidity or a previous daily low. That's your PDL or previous weekly low or PWL. PDL, we serve as what previous daily low or previous session low or whatsoever. For this particular low formed during what the Asian session, right? Formed during the Asian session. So you have formed during the Asian session. So we have your previous daily low, which formed during the Asian session. So we have a previous daily low and also the new week opening gap for last week, which was from I think from 27th or so for that for the previous week. So you have this previous week low, the previous daily low or previous week low, and also this new new week opening gap. So I don't know how when and how the market is going to open, but I have to wait for how the market is going to open for this particular week. I like to see how it's going to open. If it's going to open to the upside or to the downside, irrespective, whichever way. These are going to be my major levels. But I want to see price trade into. I want to see price trade into. Then maybe my trade into into the previous weekly meet up with this particular objective, then start going to the highs. Then maybe like this something like this, then trade into here, then start what's being bullish. Might start doing things like this. We might see something like this, or we might see something like this. Maybe trade into the new week opening gap, then lose strength, then start coming lower, then start trading towards the downside. So irrespective, I don't know how it's going to be able moving forward. I just want to just see price trade into this take out this previous weekly low, previous daily low. I'm saying it now. I want to see price take out this previous daily low and also the new week opening gap. Major levels I want to see maybe like more like the first quadrant level or onto the midpoint. Those are like those key levels I want to see price reach for. So however the week is going to open, we don't know yet, but we would tend to see maybe the next hours from now we would see the price the week opening is the candle is the market is actually going to open for the week. And also you should tend to also note that for the time zone has now changed. So we are no longer working with UTC -4. We're working with the UTC -5. The UTC -5. So if you're somebody that is working with this particular time, let's say in case of Nigerian time, if you're from Nigeria, depend on whichever country you're based. But if you're working with the Nigerian time, because we already know, okay, the 9:30 starts from 2:30 Nigerian time. So you now know at work. It will no longer be 2:30. It's now going to be 3:30. So you need to put that in into consideration. If you're somebody that you already know, well, okay, the New York session, trading session starts from this particular time, which is from let's say 1:30 or 2:30, whichever time you work with. Let's say if you work with 8:30, 8:30 in Nigerian time was actually 1:30 p.m. in Nigerian time. So that's 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Well, it's actually like 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time. That's afternoon Nigerian time. So now it's not going to be shifted to like 2:30. That's 1 hour extra or 1 hour ahead now. So 9:30 now will no longer be 2:30, but it will now be what, 3:30. You can also just go and do your research to verify that. So don't take my word for it. So this is going to be very simple and short. I hope, looking forward to more like drop like another video this week. So I just want this to be very simple. So I hope you guys gains 18 or 2. Okay, if I should look into the uh the the S&P 500, right? I think it's like the same thing. Yeah, let's see. We have the S&P 500 was actually the same, but the S&P 500, that's the uh E-mini S&P 500. You could see S&P 500 is already inside his own new week opening gap, that previous week opening gap, which was from 24th of February of Friday, October, to Sunday, 26th of October. It's already inside of it. So you need to what? We need to be careful. We don't need to be very what, too married to a particular opinion. So as a trader, you need to make sure you have more like a flexible, uh, flexible kind of ideology when it comes to trading, because you don't tend to be married to a particular idea. Because forget the fact that, okay, couple of trades said, okay, market is going to actually come here, and when market's now trying to prove that, okay, it's not ready to come to this level here, it wants to be bullish, you don't need to be aggressively trying to go short, because I've already said that, okay, market is going to come to this level. So most of the times you have to tend to make sure you're more like flexible with your idea or opinion of the market. You could see this particular man here, that the S&P 500 has already balanced his own uh, the new week opening gap. So we should tend to be careful, trying to want to be very bearish in the markets moving forward. So you don't tend to get manipulated. You need to have a setup in place. You need to have your setup. Your setup has to consist of you need to have your good system, which I already told you guys. A good system has to tell you when to enter, when to exit, when to take profits, when to move your stop loss, or how to place the stop loss, or how to manage a trade. That's what a good system has to consist of. So moving on. So I'm just trying to just let this be very plain with you guys. So irrespective that on the long run, I want to see price get to that particular level. So yes, I actually told you guys, it might get to that level, that the new week opening gap, and then lose it and then start coming down. It might get to there, then bounce off. But maybe I want to try to show you, maybe it might not even come down there. So we don't know, but very much I tend to what I would love to be bearish. I still buy the idea that, okay, I'd like to see down prices, but maybe before then, but for a good run to the downside, I want to see a manipulation to the higher, a higher manipulation to the highs, then a smooth run to those particular lows which I made mention of. So this will be going to be my take for market review for today. Hope you guys are able to gain a thing or two from this particular video. Hope this week is going to be profitable for every one of us. So thank you for your time and paying attention to this. So see you guys this week. Thank you.